couple years down the road, you sit down on the couch, you hear a sound that the second you hear it, you go, that was like $100 mistake. Is you sit down on your glasses
Ooh,
and
ooh,
you
yeah.
crunch them the fuck up.
Fuck.
Frame snaps, one of the arms breaks off. It actually goes just a little bit inside of your asshole.
Oh,
A shiver runs down your fucking spine,
yeah, dude.
all the way down the backs of your legs, and it holds you to the floor for a second.
Jesus. Okay.
So once that passes, you're like, fuck, man, I just broke my fucking glasses, you know?
Yeah.
Broke my goddamn glasses.
What a bummer.
And you think, well, it has been like a little while since I've like gotten my prescription updated, you got insurance at work. You you're like, I'm gonna go to the optometrist. I'm gonna get a new prescription. I'm gonna get an eye exam. I'm gonna find some new specs, some new shades. But you can't drive because you can't see very well. Like you wouldn't feel safe driving without your glasses on at this point,
Okay.
you know.
Fuck. This is not good.
So you call an Uber, right?
Oh, yeah. I guess I could just do that.
Yeah. You call an Uber, right? You're going to Lanalax Optometry. It's in like a strip mall, bunch of other
Okay.
shit around it. So you call an Uber, you walk outside, you wait for the car shows up, right? You get in, you say hello to the driver. He just kind of like puts his hand up. He hits the button on his phone and then he turns the radio on. So you're driving to Lanalax Optometry,
What are we
right?
listening to on the radio?
Um, so this weird thing happened where Brian Wilson accidentally entered all of the Beach Boys music into public domain.
Holy shit.
And yeah, it was like a paperwork error. And people seized on it immediately. And the biggest hit to come out of people using the Beach Boys song, you know what song I Get Around?
I do.
You know? I get around, now get around, I get around,
Yeah, I
right?
get around.
Somebody
Ooh, I get
somebody made
around.
one called I Got a Bong. And
Yep.
it's like bong bong, got a bong, I got a bong, I got a bong bong, ooh, I got a bong. Yeah.
I got a bong.
And dude, yeah, I got a bong. It has swept the nation, right? People, and Brian Wilson,
What?
like, yeah, dude, Brian Wilson, because of the success of I Got a Bong, Brian Wilson actually like people like rediscover the Beach Boys. Like this generation discovers the Beach Boys and they're like, "Holy shit, this music is fucking incredible! Like, what an amazing album!" And so, like, there's a renaissance, and he's like back on all the fucking all the late night shows. He actually has a heart attack, and he dies on the Seth Meyers one.
Wow.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Brian
but
Wilson.
again, R.I.P. But I Got a Bong is sweeping the nation, and your Uber
So
driver
stupid.
knows every word of it,
So fucking
all four of them.
stupid.
He's like singing along, like he's like got his finger over his ear, like he's harmonizing. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
He's really getting into it.
Oh man. So stupid.
So you get to and it just kind of like infuriates you because like you like have your eyes closed, your vision is so poor that it's just like Like you're not used to like not wearing your glasses, being out in the sun, like that kind of stuff. It can like really bother you and give you a headache. So you got a bad one that's ripping right now, right?
Man.
You're frustrated, right? The music is louder than it should be. I got a bong. I mean, yeah, it's a classic. It's a number one hit, sells 10 million records, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Uh, but it's just loud, right? And your driver is like turning into like he turns into the fucking strip mall, like from like it's like a 4 lane. There's like 2 lanes each way and a center turn. And
Yeah.
he's in the far right hand lane and he has to cross and he just turns from that far right lane and cuts through all 5 lanes of traffic.
Oh
Right.
man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Barely. I mean, barely, he barely escapes.
Wow.
There were
Fuck.
two flies that were out on their first date. They were flying along right there. Right. And they were out on their first date and they were flying along and they were holding hands. And it was so close that like the boy fly got hit by the one car, but the girl fly didn't.
Oh my god.
And he got blasted, right? Date's over, right? Not happening. That guy is smeared on a windshield.
They were on a
But that's how
date.
close they were less than 2 flies apart. That's how close he was coming from that right hand lane. So he pulls up, right? You have arrived, right? With a speed bump, he just fucking bottoms out, right? So you hear the crunch, right? You feel the
uh
grind of metal on concrete just
fuck.
beneath your ass, like you scraped like right there.
Yeah.
He slams his hand into the dash, furious.
Hey.
So you get out of the car, right? You're like not really looking. You're just like, I want to get out of this car. You get out of the car, you look up, you see Lanalax, you can make out the L on the sign, you walk inside,
Oh, so
right?
my vision is like very bad by this point.
It's very bad. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's not too
Yeah.
bad right now. It's just,
No, it's a few years down the road.
yeah,
And
wear and
yeah,
tear.
there was a pepper spray incident that hasn't helped things.
Who pepper sprayed
But
things?
her name was Darla Fountain, and
Jeez.
she was out at a pizza place,
Okay.
Grendel's local pizza,
Huh.
and you went there too for their lunch special, and you walked in and you were in like such a pizza mood that like the second you walked in, you saw the pizza sitting in front of her and you couldn't help yourself but just get real close to it and you started sniffing, right?
The pizza.
And she took offense to it. She pepper sprayed you right there, and your
Well,
eyes just haven't been the same since.
disproportionate
I mean, she
response.
was like, "Get out of here, leave," but you were just so zoned in on that pizza.
Oh, so
She
she
pepper
was
sprayed you right there.
telling me to leave.
Yeah, 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 yeah. She just pepper sprayed you. You got out of there.
Okay.
Um, you went to your car for like 10 minutes, and you tried to come back in. You put a hat on, but your eyes were all like puffy and red, and you're like, "I'd like the special," and they just kicked you the fuck out.
Damn.
Right. So
Fuck.
but there's plenty of pizza in Austin. You know.
Sure.
So basically, you walk in, right? You walk into this building. It's Lanalax building. Can't really see. There's like a reception desk and a receptionist there. And she goes, "Oh, uh, sir, do you have an appointment today?" And
No.
you go, "No, I don't have an appointment."
I would say
She
no.
goes, "Well,
I would tell her that I broke my glasses and I kind of panicked.
she goes, "You broke your glasses,"
Yeah.
and she kind of like looks down. She goes, "Let me see what I can find out."
Oh,
She
thank
goes,
you,
"What's your name?"
Patrick Dean.
She goes, "Patrick Dean." She goes, "Yep, we can squeeze you in."
Awesome. Thank you.
She goes, "Let me see your glasses." So you hand them over to her.
Yeah.
She kind of like holds them in her hand. She pops the lenses out, right? She it does this analysis thing where it figures out, what you have, right? You go in, there's a doctor, they give you an eye exam, right? You're sitting there, you got the fucking glasses on. They're like, number one or number two? Number one or number two? And they're like showing you the different slides. You do that
Yeah.
for what seems like several minutes, right? You read the chart on the wall. One of them just says, fuck you, right? Big F. You see KYOU.
Oh man.
And the doctor goes, huh, never had that one before. He takes a picture of it. He's got an Instagram where it's just like it randomizes. He's got an Instagram where he shows like when funny words show up in these patterns that people have to read uh for their eye exams.
How often does this happen?
You ask him that and he goes, more often than you think, and you follow it. And it's like a 2-year-old account. There's like 110 posts.
Oh wow. What's the account name?
Yeah, most dirty words are in there. The account is naughty eye exams. Because there's a lot of naughty words in there.
Oh man.
So either way, he uh he posts that one. It gets like 7 million views, 7 million likes
Wow.
on Instagram. Yeah, he can start like branding now, and he
Oh,
makes a little
I
bit
would
of extra money on the side.
I would tell him I would be like, "Oh, I'm a comic. Do you mind tagging me in that so maybe people can, you know?"
He says, I'm sorry, Patrick, I don't like to mix business with pleasure. He puts a phone in his pocket.
The fuck, that's weird. All right. That's fine.
So he gives you the eye exam, right? He sits you in the chair. He has you lean back. You're talking to him about like his Instagram and how he's like very passionate about it. He's going on and on about like all the things he's doing and his
Wow.
impressions. And he's like telling you all about it, right? And he's like basically like saying like a post, like if you wanted to like collaborate with him, it would be like thousands of dollars, right? He's like that
Okay.
level of like, you
All right,
know.
I guess I didn't realize. It's like
So, but
asking a
he's like
Kardashian to collaborate or something.
some people call him the uh Kevin Kardashian. He's a Kardashian of the optometry world. He his name is Kevin Martirosyan. He's an Armenian guy. He tries to like live that kind of lifestyle, and this extra money that he's making from his Instagram, frankly, is helping. You know, it's a very popular account. He's like very into that conversation, right? He's like working on you, right? He gives you these eye drops, you put them in. They really burn your eyes, and you say, "Hey, these really fucking burn." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Give it a second." And eventually it goes away, but it feels like your eyelids are just kind of sticking to the ball, right? And you have to like work to like open them. And you kind of like you rub them out, you wipe away all the
Wow.
gunk or whatever. And honestly, like you can see right.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's like it's like better than you've ever seen. Everything is super sharp, super clear, vivid. It's more brighter than you remember. You can spot a leaf on a tree at 180 feet. You're almost a predator.
What?
It's like super eyesight.
Wow. I'm like an eagle.
Yeah. So you kind of like sit up and you're like, thanks, Doc. He's like, what do you mean? You're like, I can see fine. He goes, oh, no, 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 no. And he's like, what drops? And he goes, these were eye drops to get you ready for the test. And he looks, he goes, we gave you the other drops.
What?
Yeah. He goes, we had somebody coming in, Pat Dean, as well as it was Pat DE. And it's actually all so a couple years down the road, Paul Dean transitions to become Pat Dean
Okay.
and was coming in later that afternoon. So there was a Pat Dean, but it was Pat Deen.
Okay. But it's
And they're
Paula
like they were
Dean.
supposed to give these special eye drops to Pat Dean
Okay.
to
That is
cure
a
his
turn of
eyesight.
events. Okay.
Yeah, and you're like, no, I'm Pat Dean, and he starts freaking out. He's like, oh shit,
How
oh,
could you
he's like,
not
this is
tell?
not good.
Yeah.
Well, he looked down and said Pat Dean. You know,
All right. Whatever.
he didn't. He's not like very hip. He didn't know about the transition or anything. Like he just looked at the name on the sheet. Who's coming in
Sure.
today?
All right.
So he applied the incorrect drops to your eyes.
All right. That's weird. So what happens? What do I
He
do?
uh he has you sit up. He goes, look, man. He pulls all the money out of his wallet. It's $180. He goes, take this, get out of here. You were never here. He goes, I'm gonna be in so much shit. You kind of like walk out, $180 in your pocket.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You see who you are positive is Pat Dean sitting down reading a Southern cooking magazine.
I think I like wink and nod.
He doesn't look at you. He's too busy reading a biscuit recipe. Biscuits the way your mama made them.
Okay.
It's a classic Southern biscuit. Make sure you have cold shortening, use cold bowls. So you walk out, $180 in your pocket, perfect fucking eyesight, right? The sun, like you kind of like step out into the day, the sun hits your eyes, you sort of squint and focus. And when you do, I don't know how to say this, but everything just kind of stops.
What?
And you see like a vision of yourself like walking across the street. You see like 4 seconds of it. And then you kind of come back to and you just walk across the street. It's like you can see 4 seconds into the future
Holy shit.
if you focus your eyes. And you
Huh.
you you know it's you because it's like this like fluorescent blue version of you, right? Like an electric lemonade version of Pat Dean, just kind of like walks out
Okay.
into the crosswalk. You know what I
Oh.
mean?
All right. I guess I tested a few more times.
So you kind of like, you get to the other side of the street, you kind of peer out again. You see from like a cafe on the corner, a waiter comes out and a pigeon just shits right on his head.
Dang.
And he goes, mother, and then it cuts off. So you kind of like release the squint, and sure as shit, the guy walks out. He's got a tray of fucking Arnold Palmer's. He hasn't spilled a tray in 8 years.
Wow.
8 fucking years. Pigeon shits right in the middle of his head. He drops the tray, tumbles to the ground. Motherfucker.
Oh man. You know what I would do? I think I would immediately try to test out if I could change the future. Because I can clearly see into the future. So I think I would try to like change it.
So yeah, so you think of that like you're on like a sidewalk, right? Like you're
Yeah.
walking in one direction. You squint, you see yourself heading in that direction, right? When you release the squint, when this alternate version of you catches up to that one that's in the future. So you're just kind of along for the ride right now.
Whoa.
Well, you press against it and you feel that they're rigid, but it does yield a little bit. This idea that like you can control the future.
Hmm.
So you kind of like spend the rest of your day going through this process, just sort of repeating this over and over again and feeling this new experience of seeing and being drawn to a point in the future. You're walking yourself up a hill 4 seconds at a time. So you see yourself walking up a hill and then you release the squint and you go to meet that version of yourself. With every passing squint, you feel a little more out of breath. It's just like an interesting feeling where you're now a little bit more out of breath immediately than you were 4 seconds ago. And you kind of have to like recalibrate yourself. It's just an odd feeling.
Sounds very odd.
So you're kind of again walking yourself up this hill like an inchworm, right? You get to the top of this hill and you look out to a beautiful sunset. You think about like what what is this good for? You know, what can you do with it? And you keep pressing against it, right? You keep letting it making it yield to you to your presence,
Hmm.
where you're not just going to sort of settle for this predetermined path.
Yeah.
You get to the top of the hill and you look over the edge and you squint and you see yourself walking out over the edge. You push back against it hard and you're sort of snapped to the side of the ground where you did it. You
Fuck
broke
yeah.
the grip of time and space.
Holy shit.
You start walking down the hill. You now have like a little bit more length. Like you can see for like 10 seconds in front of you. And you now are sort of in a general area and you feel like you have a little bit of willpower and you feel like you have control. And you're coming down the hill with a smile on your face and you're just racing faster and faster. And you're running down the hill, gaining more speed with all of your steps, but you're only experiencing it a few seconds at a time. You're constantly catching up to yourself. You get to the bottom of the hill, your heart's fucking beating fast. You get sweat pouring down your face. The sun is setting. And at the end of the street, you see an iridescent blue green man plant a knife into a woman's chest.
Whoa.
And like this, and like she falls to the ground and he runs away. So you like go to that area, right? You go look at it. There's no woman there. There's nothing there but the memory of what you saw.
Hmm.
You go home that night. You check your watch like it's 6:15. I want to go home. You get back, you sit down to eat dinner. You're watching the news, and there's a report of a woman being stabbed at that exact location.
The one that I went to?
Yeah, the
Okay.
stabbing occurred at 7:15 p.m. So you look at it, you go, there was a guy that like looked like you, like this odd visage of you, that you see when you're experiencing this time
Yeah.
leap, the electric lemonade path. There's a version of that guy out there, so somebody else, and he's an hour ahead,
Hmm.
and you're only seconds. So you kind of like sit there in the moment going, holy shit, like there's another person out there. There's another person who had these drops. What do you do?
Man, I guess I try to like focus my powers and see if I can use them to help solve this mystery, I guess. Because this isn't
Yeah.
good. Like I have to try to stop this guy.
So you go back to the
It's
Lanalax
an evil
optometry.
version of me. Fuck.
You go back to this Lanalax optometry, right? You're kind of sitting outside, you're squinting. You see that child knocks a plant onto the floor, and everybody inside like freaks out. The kid starts crying, right? The little kid. People like rush over to clean it up, and you see a shot like straight in through without being noticed by anybody. So you kind of wait there by the door. You go inside. Sure enough, this little kid, little snot-nosed, adorable child, looks at you, gives you the middle finger, and then just runs face first into this table. Flower pot breaks. It's a huge crash, potting soil everywhere. Kids start screaming.
Whoa.
People are hanging up phones. Everybody's in high alert mode. Everybody rushes over to the kid, and you dart back into the back. You remember you were in office number 3 for the visit. You go in,
Fuck yeah.
you start looking around. There's a like a file cabinet,
Yeah.
You open up a file cabinet, you look for yours. In your file, it's just a sheet that it just says, "Oops, ask Kevin," and then he puts his Instagram handle there. He prefers if you message him directly through Instagram for whatever
Okay.
you need. You know,
I guess I continue to look around and see if there's anything else before I,
you
you know.
you're kind of like flipping through this file folder, and you see at the very back there's a bright red file.
Whoa.
It says "Super Eyes."
I open up the super eyes folder.
You open up the Super Eyes folder.
Super eyes.
Uh, yeah. Uh, it's like a patient directory. There's 2 names on it. Pat Dean and Igor Renwald.
Jeez.
It's got his address, it's got his phone number, it's got his age.
Is there a photo of him?
Yeah,
And also, how old
normal
is?
looking dude,
Oh, okay. How old is he?
33.
Man. Okay. I go to that fucking I go to that goddamn address and like I scout it
Yeah.
out. Oh, hold on though, but he has
So
the but he's got the he also has the thing, the touch or whatever. I got to be careful. I have to like
yeah, yeah.
be
He
very careful.
yeah.
So
So what do you do?
I drive past his address and I wear sunglasses. And when I pass by his house, I don't really slow down, but I definitely like look and check it out to see just to
Yeah.
scope out the scene. I got to be careful because this guy has a way more developed version of my power, and who knows, maybe he can see into the future and figure out what's going on. But if I just drive past and don't do anything, why would he, you know what I mean? Why would he suspect anything?
Yeah, yeah.
So I got to be very careful with this guy. Be very indirect.
So you drive by his house, you kind of slow down, right? You got those dark glasses on. You're passing the house, you're looking inside, and as you turn back, he's standing in the middle of the road and he's got his hand out.
Oh no.
He walks around, you roll your window down,
Yeah, I guess so.
you roll your window down. He goes, "Mine is so much better than yours. How did you think I wasn't gonna know?" He goes, "Park on the road. We need to talk." So you
Damn.
park, you get out of your car. He introduces himself. He says, "Igor." You say, "Pat." And he says, "I knew there was another one of us here." He goes, "How long can you see?" You tell him.
Yeah, I go, man, not that long. I mean, I can see a little bit, but it's not as developed as yours.
He said, "I still think we can help each other."
Why'd you kill that lady?
He kind of smiles. He goes, "We all have our reasons."
Murder?
He says, I want you to help me.
With what?
He says, he goes, where my timeline is long, he goes, yours is short. He goes, I can't see that far in front of me. I can only see what's further out. He says, with you being able to see what's in the next room, he goes, you'll help me. He says, I want to rob a bank.
Okay. All right. I guess it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'll help you rob a bank for sure. But then after, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I will help you rob this bank. After I help you rob this bank, you got to tell me what happened with that lady. Deal?
He pulls a toothpick out of his pocket, balances it on the nail of his thumb. The pop, just a snap. He flips it up in the air, catches it right in his mouth. He goes, sure, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
I've always wanted to rob a bank. So,
He
like,
goes,
if
well, today's your lucky day.
hey, let's
So you
fucking
kind of
do it.
walk over to his house, right? He's got a black fan. He's got he opens up he like closes the garage door. He opens up the back. There's just like a bunch of guns, right? There's all black clothing, right?
Holy
He
shit.
says, I've been scouting this bank for months. He goes, I know when all their tellers take their breaks, and it's just about that time. There'll only be one person there, and she's not at the register with the switch that calls the cops right away. She says, we can be in and out of there real quick. As long as we work together, I'll be able to see what's happening long term, and you can see what's happening short term.
Okay.
So you get in the van. He he like you get in, he gets behind the wheel, he drives, right? You're there in like a few minutes, you're kind of squinting along the way, right? You're feeling on the edge of your seat,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
kind of adrenaline pumping.
I would be so freaked out because I have to do what he says, I feel like, because he has these weird time powers
Yeah.
and could retaliate, I guess, if I don't. And also, like, I kind of do want to rob a bank, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I kind of want to
So all
use
this is going
these
through your
crazy
head, right?
powers. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff.
So you guys you park very close to the door, right? You kind of sit there for a second, collect yourself, and he goes, "Okay." He's like adjusting his mirror, looking inside. There's only one person in there at like the registers, only one teller working.
I squint.
You squint, you kind of like look, you see somebody come out of like a break room and they refill a water cup and they go back inside.
I guess I relay that information.
Yeah. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. He goes, let's go. He gets
Fuck.
out, right?
Yeah.
You squint, you see that there's nothing happening really. So you're like, we're good to go. You guys go in, guns trained on her immediately, right? You kind of like walk back. You're kind of like squinting and like watching in real time and waiting to see what's going to happen. You slowly start creeping back towards the door, right? And so the you're like again like squinting and trying to see is anybody are they alerted? Is anybody even coming out? You know,
Yeah.
you're just like on edge. You're right there, right? Partner has his gun again, trained at the woman. She's emptying her whole drawer into a bag, and
I
she's
guess
running down the line.
all I do is just keep squinting. I think I don't even focus on
Yeah,
what they're doing at all. I think I just keep squinting to make sure we're okay. He's got that figured out.
yeah. You look back at him, and he kind of like looks at you, and he goes, "Are you serious?" And then he pulls out like a pistol, and he shoots you in the middle of the head,
What?
and then you get to he saw into the future. So basically, he saw that over the next couple of minutes, You experience this in real time.
Okay.
You, over the next couple of minutes, are sniffing the air and you're smelling the lunch that these people are having on break, and you're slowly being drawn into the break room by the scent. You're like one guy's got like a
What?
like turkey and meatloaf. Yeah, another one lady's reheating a couple of old pizza she had from the night before, pepperoni and green pepper.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah. You see it coming out of the you see it sizzle as it comes out of the microwave and you say out loud, "Oh, oh."
Oh, Jesus.
Right? And you're like, very into it. And then at that point, that lady like sees you and you see like her getting ready to shriek. And then that's a point that he kills you. So you wouldn't alert the rest of them. And then he winds up blowing the bank job. He gets killed shortly thereafter. He traumatizes everybody at that whole bank. But
Whoa.
yeah, you guys both you had the power of foresight and you just like went in without any training whatsoever. And you just believe that this guy was like going to keep you safe. And
What he was
ultimately, you couldn't control yourself, and you like alerted them of your presence, and he had to take you out.
because it smelled so good that I was
I don't think anybody on site would say that it smelled so good. It just smelled, and that was like enough for you. That was enough
oh
for you to
fuck
just be
you.
like,
Fuck off.
"Fuck."
Oh
That's
man.
what it was. You said, "Oh, fuck." And that lady, her name is Rebecca Steamboat.
Who cares?
She she yells and she drops both of those pieces of pepperoni pizza onto the floor.
Oh fuck. And then I die. The last thing I see is what? The
Yeah, then you
pepperoni pizza falling to the floor?
yeah,
Oh
you're like
shit.
you fall and like you're like laying there as and you can see into the break room and you see just like the pepperoni from one just like you see it hit the floor and then you see it kind of like bounce, as it would, and
Yeah.
whatever bounces up. And you see just the fucking grease from that pepperoni splatter onto that linoleum. You think to yourself, oh, oh, that's finished time.
Oh man, what a pathetic end. Ah,
Yeah, couldn't help yourself.
I guess not. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right.